Hey, Kelly.
Hey,
Hi.
hi.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Paolo was just showing me all the how-tos and what for to actually join this because I haven't done it before. Yeah.
It worked out. We're here.
You did
It
it.
So I think we'll wait just a couple minutes. I know there's a few more people joining. Excited to see all these folks coming in. I see all these waves. Well, I've attended these. I haven't been actually presenting on one for some time, so it's really fun.
Yeah. I'm excited to learn all the things.
Me too. Kelly knows a lot.
Yeah,
So
I'm very
Close
excited.
Yeah. Cool. And one thing I don't know is where are you guys physically located? So right now we're down in a different location. We're in Portland, Oregon, but where are you guys at?
I'm in Toronto, Canada.
Yay!
Oh, good. My side. I'm in Minnesota, so probably similar weather than Toronto.
Yeah. Cold.
Nice.
Getting
Yeah.
cold.
Very.
Awesome. Cool, cool. So do we wait these 2 minutes, Paula? What's the protocol?
Give it a couple minutes. There's
Awesome.
23 people in the live already. You can
Yay!
keep track of it.
Oh, neat.
So yeah.
So Paula was just saying that there's all these, like, showing me where to track how many people are joining and all of those things. And
Yeah.
we call her our resident millennial. So she's always, she's always educating us on these little things. Yeah. Cool.
You can say hi to the people that are there.
Oh, I do know some of these names actually. I can you guys see the names on your side?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's fun to see some people that I actually oh, yay. I love it. Yeah. I love that our circle is widening. You know, we say communities of support in our Prairie Circle, and it's such a joyful thing for us, and it's really cool to see all these folks and some that I know and some that are new and just here to support Huggard.
Sorry.
No, that's cool.
Seeing my friends come in, I'm like, hi.
Yay! Love it. Yeah. And different times. All of these, so cool.
It is cool. It's so great that you guys are doing this.
It's been also Paula and our team bringing us into the social media age. Kelly, you've known us for a bit longer, so you know that our social media game has been not as strong in terms of just bringing ourselves out there. So it's a really great way to be able to reach people, and we're really excited about it. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Cool. So guys, it's time, and I thought we could start by a really brief introduction, and I know you have lots and lots to share with us tonight. So I'll begin. I'm Holly. I'm the CEO here at PrairieWare, and our intention tonight is just to bring really amazing folks together and bring education and some bright light into the world. So with us tonight, we have, where do we want to start? We have Mia. Would you like to start and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Mia. I'm in Canada, and yeah, I am a mom and a photographer. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in August of 2020, and I had a single mastectomy on my left side, and I've stayed flat. And I've also had my ovaries removed and fallopian tubes removed as a preventative measure. And now I'm just doing hormone treatment for the next 10 years or so, I guess. Yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Thank you.
And then I'm Kelly. I am in Minnesota. I'm a physical therapist. I specialize in oncology and lymphedema, so this will be a fun talk for me. I've been doing it for just shy of a decade. So anything I can share, I'm willing to share.
Awesome. Cool. So I think, sorry, I'm just going to grab my note that I just dropped. So our discussion and what we're really hoping to do is take advantage of, Kelly, your particular study of work and your life's work, which is exercise and health and education. And so from there, I think it's just what would be something that we can share with people in terms of exercise. And Mia, there's a particular question or something that you've experienced in terms of what can we do to really look after ourselves post-surgically and or throughout treatment, and also, you know, beyond. And I think that's applicable to everybody. And part of that is, you know, something that you can share with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a specific question you want me to start with?
I think if you guys can see, there's a whole bunch of them. Perhaps I didn't bring my reading glasses. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
So many because you know so much, Kelly. And so I'm looking at you like, which one would be the best one? So maybe what I could do is throw one out, and then you can just, I think, organically see what sort of resonates with you also, Mia. And so I think one of the questions is, what's the best start to exercising post-surgically? So where do you start, and where do you progress to, and what does that look like?
Yeah. So everyone's a little different. And the first answer is always going to be, you've got to ask your doctor or surgeon what you are allowed or not allowed to do, because everyone's surgeries are going to be different. Some have drains in, some will not. So that's something to consider. So right after surgery, you know, you're going to take it easy a little bit. If you have drains in, we're a little more cautious. We don't want someone raising their arms above their head. Most will have lifting restrictions for a while. So the majority will hear, you know, don't lift more than 10 pounds for the first few weeks. It just varies person to person and what kind of surgery they have. So that's always the first place to start. It's just a good conversation with your doctor or your surgeon to know what's best for you. And then you'll have a follow-up with them, and you'll check in and see when you're cleared to move on. So that's always the best place to start. Ideally, as a therapist, the sooner we can see you, the better, even early on. If we can start with stretches, light movement stretches, anything like that, that we're cleared to do so, we want to, because we want to try to reduce the pain as fast as possible and try to get the fluid moving, because we know everyone's going to have swelling after surgery like that. We want to try to get that moving because that also helps with pain. We want to make sure that we're not tightening up the shoulders or anything in the back. And so anything we can do gentle, we want to start. So that's always a great place to start too, and try to find someone local to connect with from a therapy standpoint.
Awesome. Great. And I know that for us, what we hear a lot is from our physical therapists, but also our surgeons directly in the OR and post-surgery, that compression can be really important to recovery, and also to get into that active recovery phase. And I wanted to put that out there just in terms of, that's kind of my tie-in to this question of where we fit in this, is how we can support that active recovery. And I'd be really interested, Mia, in what is a question you feel, or what came up for you during this journey, because this opportunity is for us to share with other people and hopefully shed some light in education as well.
For me, it's like after surgery, of course, as you know, you have a certain amount of exercises you're supposed to do, like just right after, like, you know what they are. And it's actually something that I didn't do very well. So for me, anytime anyone asks me like, oh, what tips do you have? I get messages all the time like, oh, do you have any tips for going to surgery or post-surgery or anything? That is my number one. It's do the exercises they tell you to do. And then, yes, find someone that you can go talk to and continue the journey, because I haven't been very good at it. So I'm very excited to be here to talk about it and hear and learn from you.
Yeah, it's never too late to start. I said it too. I'm a big advocate. I'm not going to do 10 exercises if someone gave me. Like, if I gave myself 10 exercises, I would not do them. I would not. So I just like pick two, one or two simple things to start with right after that you're given. Easy place to start. I always try to say, like, when you're doing something else, so if like you're laying down watching TV, you're in a position to do one of them, or if you're at the countertop, we'll do one. So I always try to like put it together with life, because then you're more likely to do one or two of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
Yeah,
it's never
that's
too
really
late to
good.
start.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
And I think that kind of leads into that next of when you're out of that post-surgical and recovery phase, what is that next that you're saying? So I think what you even mentioned is just start. It's never too late to start.
Yeah.
And I think that activity creates kind of a better overall body and mental state. And that's one of the things that I know is important to our team, is to help people feel better, because you just get better when you feel better. And part of exercise, which is why Kelly, we work with yourself and so many other physical therapists, is how can we get people moving and feel good and secure about moving. So with that in mind, and kind of moving through this spectrum of directly post-surgery, look to questions. If like, what type of exercise is the best as you progress through that healing process? And I know this is consult a physical therapist, but it could be, is there a website people can go to? Is there something that you would recommend? I know that you have so many great videos, and I know there's other resources, but I think so often it's, where do you go and what do you find? Like, what's that next step if, let's say, you're working with a therapist and you're looking for some additional information, or that kind of moment?
No, absolutely. I think the other thing I'm a big advocate for is we have programs that we could be very specific with every person and give everyone the same thing of what exercises to do, what would be a good program to give them. And that would be, ideally some sort of cardio-based exercise. So whether it's walking, biking, swimming, running, whatever someone enjoys or likes to do, and then a strength training component. So we don't start with big heavy weights. We start with 1 pounders, 2 pounders max, and then gradually build up for risk of lymphedema and some other things we can talk about. But I think the biggest thing that some people get frustrated or don't follow through with is simply because it's not something they enjoy. And so if it's not an exercise that they enjoy doing,
Yes.
there's no point. They're not going to follow through. Yeah. So it's really just finding whatever it is. Some people love dance. Some people love yoga. Some people don't like anything and they just want to go outside and go for a hike or go for a walk or take their dog out. So if it's finding something that that you can be consistent with, that's active, that is always what I want to go towards. And then I will build something around that if we want. But it's, I just think that's the number one key. So if we're looking for a perfect world, there's cardio involved, there's strength, but at the end of the day, it's got to be something you enjoy.
Mm-hmm. And Mia, when you were not doing your exercises and sometimes doing them, what was kind of that impediment to you? What was stopping you from wanting to do that, if it's not too?
No, not at all. I think it was just like trying to recover, and like it seems silly. Maybe I'm lazy, I don't know, but it seems silly because they're not hard. They're hard because you just had surgery, so they're hard, but they're not anything crazy. It doesn't take long to do. But I did them at the very beginning, the first like few days.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just sort of teetered off, and I was just more like, I think I was focusing so hard on like my mental health, just getting through and healing and just feeling a little bit better. And doing the exercises was a little discouraging because they seemed so easy, but were difficult. So I think that's probably why. Whereas I know, even then I knew the more I do it, the easier it'll get and the better I'll feel mentally too. So it is silly, but also it was just a mental thing, right? A mental block, I guess I had. And yeah, I just kind of stopped doing it, but I tell everyone to do it, I promise.
Is there something that you wanted to like get back to afterwards, like activity or hobby or anything that you felt like, oh, I just really want to get back to this, that you would have like been able to embed that into?
Well, Not really. I mean, the only thing I would love to get back into, which I don't think I can, but this is maybe a good question, is hockey. But I feel like that's probably a little too ambitious and rough, maybe. Like, I'm nervous that I will hurt my arm, like where they took the lymph nodes. So that's also a mental block I've had this whole time is I'm nervous to actually exercise because I don't want to hurt myself and or make it lead to lymphedema or any other issue. So I think that's another mental block I've had this whole time.
And I will say, we've had people get back to like Olympic weightlifting and just some,
Really?
extreme adventurous things, and everyone gets back. We just try to go slow and gradually get there. It's not going to feel good if you get hit or fall down right away, but if we can start to do things that kind of ease you in, I feel like that, I don't think there's ever something someone can't do. It's just a matter that we have to kind of build up into it sometimes, just for safety reasons. But I don't think there's ever a limit, in my opinion. So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what I'm hearing is one of those things that can often happen is there's this roadblock and you think it's hard to get over that roadblock. And then there's someone like Kelly that says, hey, it's not a block. And there's another way over around this. And it's hard to feel that way when you don't feel great, and there's all these other things that you have to do. And I think that's what this resource is about to me is there's so many, not lots of great Kellys because she's pretty unique and special, but there's lots of great people there that do this and help others. So I think that's something to always kind of be aware of and keep in mind. I think the other thing that I heard you say, Kelly, is it's all about building up and also repetition. And that's something that I think is, pretty relevant to almost everything. But as it relates to post-surgical exercise, what is something that, other than doing something that you love, what's something that we could suggest to folks here? Or Mia, is there something with hockey? What would be those next steps? I'm really curious. How do we protect ourselves in a way, and I know not a medical advice, but what's a simple thing that maybe start by walking or, what is that one thing that we can say, what do you want to try?
Yeah. And I think
Or
it's good to have, it's good to have context of why I probably say build up slowly. We don't want to injure any time. And if you haven't done any exercise for a long time, you know that if you go all in, you're just going to be incredibly sore. So we avoid that part of it too. But the risk that we just want to consider is the lymphedema. And I know that it gets brought up for a lot of people. I know it's on a lot of people's minds. So I just think it's good to have an awareness of what we know can lower the risk of lymphedema is exercise. We want people moving. We used to say 15, 20 years ago, don't lift more than 10 pounds because it can cause lymphedema. Well, there have been plenty of studies that actually show the opposite. Like those who do move and use their muscles and are active have a lot lower risk of getting lymphedema. So the only thing that we want to consider with some of these things is if we go all in way too fast. So instead of picking up the 1 to 2 pounds and you're not used to it, you pick up the 25-pound, you're going to be sore. And what is that? What is muscle soreness? It's actually inflammation of a muscle or fluids like in the muscle. We don't need more fluid to the area if we're trying to be cautious. So we just try to gradually build up and get the body used to these things and to avoid that risk. And so when I talk about like building up for anything, we want to do that naturally. If you're weight training or if you are a runner and you're trying to get to a marathon, you're not going to go run 20 miles the first day. You're going to start with 1 or 2. So it's just about letting your body adapt in a safe way. And so when we think of lymphedema, it's the same concept of just building up. And so when it comes to playing hockey, it's just going and skating around for a while or, doing some stick handling or just getting used to those movements again with the body before you go out and play a 45-minute game or something like that. And that's really what I mean by building up. It's just doing it in a smart way.
Yeah. Cool. Do you have any questions from our many people here, which is really exciting? Or Kelly, you want to share with with this crew and with this group, because there's a lot of folks here and it's pretty great.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's anyone who's asked any questions, but I think the biggest thing, I guess, when it comes to exercise, and I just get so many questions. I think my DMs are mostly filled with people wanting more content around the risk of lymphedema and the swelling, because that's just one that lingers for a long time. Like pain goes away eventually. You know, the tightness is there, so they want stretches. But the lymphedema is just the fear that does linger on. And what am I feeling? What am I seeing? What's going on? And so if there's ever a concern there when you exercise, because I'm telling you right now, exercise is important, you can wear compression. You know, it's not shown in research that it makes a big difference, but if you have any signs of swelling and you're not sure, compression bra, Prairie wears bras are perfect for post-op, perfect for exercise, perfect for lymphedema. And so that could be another little something to add in there.
Cool. And I think what we find with compression, and it can be whatever works best for your body, we're all about you finding what works for you. And what we hear most often when you have good compression post-surgically with lymphedema, that you feel the confidence, that you feel secure, that you can be out there and you're covered and you're confident. And for us, it's all about that. We want to help people get active and feel better. So I love that about compression a lot. Mm-hmm. And there's all kinds of great products out there, as you guys know. So I love that just bringing it up brings it up to people to go check it out, go online and check it out, and all of the, you know, find some information, because there's so many wonderful things out there. And we did just get a question, and it's so fast. Can you guys read it? And it's really long. What can I do? I can't quite read that, guys. Sorry, it went so fast.
Yeah, it said I had a double mastectomy in January. I don't have lymphedema, but I am super sore and sensitive. What can I do? You know, if someone has soreness, pain, tightness that's lingering, it can vary what it is. And so it's ideally you're working with someone local just so they can really assess it. But in general, taking a step back of what we see pain linger as, I often see, the number one thing I see is just tightness, especially if someone also had radiation to the area and the scar tissue in the area. And some people have the drains, which cause some issues too. It just ends up tightness. And then we talk about, you know, just the fear of not knowing what this pain is and being cautious. And so we kind of guard the area as well. And so we kind of get into that forward positioning, and that causes more tightness across the front. So it just cascades. And so a lot of pain I see is tightness pain that we're trying to just gently stretch out, or the therapist like myself, we can massage some of that tissue out and help with the pain. So that's a lot of what we see when it comes to the soreness that's lingering. Not always. So it's always best to check with a doctor, because it could be something else. So
yeah. And I think to that point, one of the things that we hear also is finding something, if you are wearing a bra, that it's not restrictive. So that you're looking at something that's seamless knit, that's higher, that's safe for your skin. These are all super important. Your skin is super sensitive. Your body is super sensitive. So it's worth looking for something that feels good when you put it on, that's safe for your skin, that's, you know, again, that non-restrictive. I think we so often think that compression has to hurt, or that your bra has to lift in a certain way, or that it has to, you know, and really, I think the point that I'm trying to make is it should feel good and give support where you need it without restriction. And that's so important to keep your lymph flowing and keep just overall circulation going really well. So I did want to put that out there when you're looking for something great for compression or to get exercising. I think that's another thing, is so many people trying to just compress so much because they feel like it's maybe more secure. And Kelly, you could probably speak more on that in terms of how to get that security, but also keep your circulation. I think that's super important.
yeah, no, it really is, especially if there's pain after surgery or long term. And then again, going back to the risk of lymphedema, or someone's concerned about that. When you exercise, things are painful naturally no matter what you're doing, and so you want that good support. So anything really full coverage is first off the most important. But when it comes to looking at what kind of bra, the Prairie bras are nice because we really don't want those really thick bottom seams that we see a lot of sports bras have. I know I have some sitting back there somewhere, because they tend to tourniquet, and that's going to rub. And a lot of people's scars can be down there too. And so we want to just get away from the scars. And then the other thing is the sides always get missed. So they're always low or thin on the sides, the traditional sports bras. Whereas Prairie wears you can get really wide sides, and that gives you a better coverage where we tend to hold more fluid too. And so you just get that full coverage in that way. And then the bras, we want to look something uniform throughout, meaning the fabric is really the same amount of tension, the same amount of gentle compression. And sometimes with the sports bras, you'll have, thicker, tighter in one spot, thinner in another, thick seam somewhere else. And so that can also cause tourniquets, cause rubbing. A lot of the, people who've had their lymph nodes taken know exactly what I'm talking about. Really sensitive right here. Yeah, your nose. Yeah. And some of those seams really rub. And so you want to have something that comes above it, because that helps, but also is not as thick. And so those all definitely play a role. And that's, Prairie, I would recommend in that case, the Prima, so the more full coverage, because they tend to come up a little bit higher, and they're less likely to rub on those scars, which can be painful.
Yeah. And I think also looking for a compression bra or a bra that works with your asymmetry and feels natural and a good fit on your body. And Mia, you probably had to rediscover and understand what works with my body and what feels good.
Oh yeah, big time. It's really hard. There's a lot of options, but most of them have like a cup on the one side, and I don't wear a prosthetic. I just want it to be flat, and then I'll have like a little bulge, and it just looks really silly and uncomfortable. So yeah, the Prairie Wear one is amazing because I'm wearing it right now. It really does sit flat and is comfy, and like you can just, you don't even realize really, you're just comfortable, and it hits everywhere, the right spots and everything. So yeah, it's really important to find, and I'm glad that it's something that I found.
Yeah. I'm glad too. And I love opening the discussion so that people know that they can look. And whether it's something else, what's so important is that you find something that feels good on your body.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that opening the conversation to that is really what we're all about. So appreciate you guys being here to share that message with people, and just like go out and look. There's something to get active, stay active, be involved, feel secure. And part of that is finding a good compression bra. And I think we learned some good tips on that today. And I think, Kelly, what resonated the most with me is just not so much even the building up, but just the consistency and just staying active, and what that does for the body and with circulation overall. And Mia, what I think resonated with you is sometimes it's not lack of intention. It's just that taking that next step. And so I'd be really interested to hear, I think even from our family that's here online, and just what helped you keep active, what gave you that peace, or something, what is that piece that we could take to give people to stay active, is what my mind keeps going to, but I'm not articulating it well in this moment.
See if people come in, but Mia, I think the big thing, like what you said, is you want to get back to hockey, but you don't think that's realistic. And I think that's just the big thing that I just hope a lot of people take away, is that there's nothing someone can't do, but if there's pain that's limiting, or a certain swelling, or need a certain compression, whatever, if we reach out to someone local, I know there's not a lot of us around, but there are if you search, someone who knows enough just to help with the pains that you feel, just to almost clarify like what they are. Because sometimes you're like, I don't know what this is this a bad thing? Just to talk through that sometimes, just to be able to then keep moving you forward, just to get back to what you enjoy. I think that's so important too.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Like, I think that's definitely what I'm taking from this, is that that's a possibility. I honestly was like, oh, I guess I'm just never going to play hockey again. Well, but that's so sad. And
Yeah.
that would be amazing if I could. So that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You have to share when you get back out on the ice.
I will.
Cool. Well, great, guys. I think if we have any questions, we're happy to take them. We're also, Kelly is super amazing. She's got some great resources on her YouTube channel. Mia, an amazing photographer, by the way. I didn't get to even say that to you.
Aw, thanks.
So, yeah, I was looking at your feed and really beautiful. So, lots of resource out there, guys. And any questions, you can always reach out to us. We're your support@com. You can go online or DM us. And love to hear from you. Thank you so much for stopping by today. And thank you, Mia and Kelly, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It was fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.